Hello, and welcome to Quiet Dignity and Grace. Like, hate, share, scribe, comment if you need to. Links for things or where I keep my linky stuff. Notification bell because reasons. I thank you so much for watching. Well, let's rock. All over YouTube, I keep seeing these debunk videos from Thunderfoot, Common Sense Skeptic. They do great work. But it's the projects they keep picking apart. That ain't going to work. That's not going to work. What the hell is this? That's not going to work. One of my favorites is, actually a couple of favorites are the mega cities out in the desert. But the one that comes to mind is that 100-mile long, just a few miles wide city in the desert. Solar powered. Okay. One, not just the infrastructure and the plumbing and the waste and the transportation therein. The one thing they keep forgetting about is humans. You know, the people that are going to go in there. Biodome 2. Electric Boogaloo. No, not the Pauly Shore fucking thing. The experiment out in the desert. The American desert. Arizona, I think it was. Anyways. Biodome 1 kind of worked. Biodome 2, by the end of, what was it, about a month, they all wanted to kill each other. And Elon wants to send people to Mars, which I don't understand how he's going to do it with 44,000 satellites that have to be replaced every 5 years. Common Sense Skeptic worked out the math that he'd have to launch every 3 minutes for 5 fucking years. Yeah, but by then he's got to play catch up, so he needs more rockets to play blah, 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 and all that fuel and all that time and all that effort wasted. Provided nothing goes wrong getting up there. I don't have access to, well, I don't have the money for a graphic artist. I'm so glad I built this thing. Didn't know it'd take me here, but my problem with Elon... My problem isn't with Elon. My problem is every time Elon opens his mouth, poop falls out. And people just keep throwing him money so he can wipe his chin. This is not a hit piece. This is a think piece. I apologize for the glare, but grass don't grow on a busy street. Now do it. Earth. In both of its representations. Space elevator will not work. Simple reason. Rotation. Hey, that works for both models. And it's not the location either. I know what most people think. You know, the wind resistance. That's not the problem. Location wouldn't matter. What continent you put it on. Even Antarctica. Well, it wouldn't work for these guys because, you know, that's what keeps us on. And it still wouldn't work because the centrifugal force of the planet, you get it dead on, geared in, exactly on the rotational axis of the planet. Centrifugal force will just blow it apart. Again, I can't afford a graphic artist. So, you want to put your elevator on there. Okay, that's fine. You're going to need, well... actually, to scale. That's about the size you're going to need for a base. But as you go up about 5 miles, the bottom is moving a hell of a lot faster than out here at the end of your stick. You take that up to 100 miles into space, it just shred itself. 5, 10, 15 miles. You just have to make the base bigger and bigger and bigger, and that still wouldn't matter. It'll just tear itself apart as we go round. Your next problem, the Earth moves, not its trip around the sun and not its daily rotation. It moves at about 1,000 miles an hour, just under. So even if you do find that particular angle of axis rotation, earthquakes, you're off a bit. Plate tectonics. If you're going to build this thing, you might want to make it last more than 5 years. Think pyramids. They're still here. The only bit of the space elevator idea that would actually work is it generating its own electricity. You put a piece of metal in a magnetic field, you get current. Okay, it powers itself. Groovy. I have a much better idea, and it'll work. May I humbly submit to you Space Escalator. Trademark, copyright, patent pending. Part 1. Practicality. Payload. Delivery. And recovery. No more worrying about fuel efficiency. Because again, all the steel in this thing will power itself. We'll get to that. Well, that's part of the practicality. Powers itself. System delivery. You don't have to risk blowing up your $10 billion satellite before it gets 20 feet off the ground. I'm sorry, that's not fair, because it's already standing 200 feet in the air on the end of basically a pipe bomb. The other part of it is recovering satellites from low Earth orbit. Okay, let's talk delivery. Sending things up. There will be multi-stages, because it's going to take a while to get there, but it'll be worth it. You get up here to your platform, you put it together, then you give it its propulsion system and send it right where you need it. No fuss, no muss. Just as long as, your maintenance crews are not afraid of heights. And it also makes it easier to get some of that garbage out of the sky. Start bringing it down safely without burning up. Global warming. You gotta vent, send all that garbage or the bad air straight out. You put in a couple of wind blocks. Regulate how much leaves, how much comes down. Because space is 455 degrees negative Fahrenheit and negative 270 Celsius. That should cool some shit right off. Stop the oceans from going anywhere, wouldn't it? Then again, that air exchange might do something to the planet itself. Not my department, that's physics. Let the physics people figure that one out. Thunderfoot, common sense skeptic, I'll leave that up to you guys. And hope for the future. Practicality. Hope for the future. In 1,000 years, there won't be any question whether or not the Earth is a sphere. You can go upstairs and find out for your damn self. New products. You can actually, while it's being constructed, get about 5 miles up, see what holds together a little better. Durability tests, conductivity tests, pulling electricity straight out of the atmosphere. I know at least 3 colleges that would love to walk upstairs. And thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs created from this one cuckoo idea. And on that note, with the discovering new products and applications therefore, the University of Iowa came up with this. It's a byproduct 1,000 times stronger than steel and 1,000 times lighter than steel. When they first discovered it, they were thinking like airplane wings and stuff like that. What they wound up doing was inject it into a mold, put it on a satellite, and stuck it out in the solar wind. And it actually got hit and captured particles. Go Hawks! That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Coming up with new ideas. What's this going to do? How does this react? Hey, let's try this. Cold temperature, radiation. Sky's the limit. Part 2. A great man, a great man once said, everything in life is location, location, location. You would have to understand, because this thing's got to be big. I mean, like big. I'm thinking a footprint of a minimum 800 to 1,000 miles. That's just the base of it. So the footing itself, you'd have to at least 2 miles deep. So you're going to have to dig like way the hell down into the Earth's crust, where you're not going to have any fault lines screwing you up. So America, you're out. Another side effect of something this big, it'll wind up generating its own weather. Look at the mountains. It's all dry and barren on that side of them, all wet and sloppy downhill. Look at the Great Plains. California's a damn desert. Colorado is swampland. Well, Iowa is swampland. Just saying. That, and this entire time I've been drawing it backwards. Because if you put that knife edge into the rotation of the Earth, it's just going to destroy itself. Once you start getting up 50, 60 miles, it's going to just tear itself apart and screw everything up. You need to face it west. So it's a drag. Make it a lot easier getting stuff up. Bringing it down. That, and as large as I'm thinking it would be, think carpenters, help me out with this. The soffit on the side of your house, not the siding of your house, the soffit, a channel like that is what I'm thinking. Wall, dead on valley. Insurance companies know this shit too. That's why you have to put fire brakes in that thing. Some people do, some regions don't require it, but you put fire brakes in that. So when your house goes up and it starts blowing out the fucking sides, it doesn't give itself a full-on chimney. You put brakes in that, slow it down. Same thing. You're going to be venting like hell, which, again, that's a physics thing, not my area. It might accidentally propel the Earth even faster, which would make the day shorter and nobody gets overtime. Great, I've damned us all. Again, that's a physics thing, not my problem. That's why I'm asking for help from Thunderfoot, common sense skeptic. Help me work this. Help me, or shoot it to shit. I don't care. Help me think this through. So you're going to need a place that's got plenty of readily available materials you can use to build it. So you don't have to bring it in from everywhere else. Build it where it stands. I'm thinking sand. So you got two options. One, it won't work in America. Yes, it'd help make a border wall. Yeah, right across there. Something like that. Right up against the mountains. Actually, past the mountains because it's got to go higher. Not going to work. So what would be a good spot? The Sahara. Right across the Sahara Desert. Should freaking do it. You got all that sand. Nobody's using it. I didn't want to get geopolitical, but why is Europe considered the West? Sorry, the West. But Africa isn't? If it wasn't for the Mediterranean, there wouldn't be a fucking Europe. Especially after how you've treated them. Looking at you, Belgium. Hands for bullets. Not the forum, but Google it. Oh, Britannia. Vive la fucking France. Can't we all just get along? Well, this would actually cause everybody to get along because, according to everybody, because they're running out of we're each of us Western countries, us developed nations, are running out of resources, money, and people that give a shit. We could actually give Africa, wow, I really don't want to say give them a purpose. Give them a reason to stop killing each other. Because your grandmother was born in the wrong village, therefore you must die. Because somehow it's a 5-year-old's fault. Straighten some shit out, that's for damn sure. That, and they could hurry up and pay off all that debt China fucking put them in. Or am I just thinking out loud here? Anyways, the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert. It'd be perfect. Maybe, depending on fault lines. If there are any. I've never heard of any, the shifting sands. Yeah, but you never hear of tidal waves of fucking sands. A tsunami of dirt. With it changing weather conditions, all that gets green again. It goes back to being the tropical freaking forest it was. Or more temperate, agriculturable area. Meh. What do I know? I just read books. But my point was, all that sand. Free sand. You need a little bit of aggregate, some gypsum, water, obviously. Slap it together. It'll dry real goddamn quick, too. The footing itself would wind up having to be at least 2 miles deep. In case the earth decides to go, rah, You look at the big scale of things. I'm thinking 1,000 years. 500, 1,000 years this sucker be around. Longer than that. Look at the pyramids. And they made those out of Legos. Comparatively, they made those out of Legos. I'm not poo-pooing Egypt. But you're looking at hundreds and thousands of jobs just with this. Bettering everyone's life for science. Not for the select few at the top of the escalator. Everybody benefit. It would change the climate. You could vent the bad shit straight out. Just hit the vents. Out. Oh, it went up 3 degrees Celsius this year? Turn it on for about 5 minutes. Cool that bastard off. Just saying. And again, it would have to be facing, it would have to go with the rotation of the Earth. From the east out to the west. That technically you wouldn't even need a propulsion system. Well, you would. You'd need air brakes once you get into space to stop your satellite from zipping its happy ass halfway to the fucking moon. Because it's already cooking at 1,000 miles an hour and it's left Earth's gravity. Because when you get up there, you're already at 24,000 miles an hour. All you need is a little boop, boost. Let it find itself. There you go. And we can start recovering the garbage that's out there and bring it back down. Sorry, that was also in the practicality. That's logistics. Yeah, that's the prime spot. That's the best spot I can think of. Geopolitically, politically, everybody be in on it. I have a comment section. Help me out here. This has been Quiet Dignity and Grace. Like, hate, share, subscribe, comment if you need to. Links for things, where you find the linky stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.